Are you thinking about moving to Phoenix, Arizona? Well, don't move here without knowing these things first. So when I was looking for a place to settle down for the long term, Phoenix, Arizona was definitely the top of my list. But my husband wasn't very convinced. He had never lived in Arizona before and wasn't sure about living in the whole desert thing. So it was up to me to educate him so that he knew what to expect when he moved to Arizona. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you these tips and more coming up. Hi, I'm Amber Hardy. I'm a licensed realtor here in Phoenix, Arizona. Whether you are looking at moving to Arizona in 1 month, 6 months, or even a year, I would love to talk to you about your move and help you with that. Number one is not a surprise to anyone who knows about Arizona. From the months of June through September, we have 100-degree days, sometimes even up to 120 degrees. I'm not gonna lie, it's really hot. Make sure you have the sunshades, use your garage if you can. For people, this heat is just too extreme for them. But I found that since there is low to zero humidity, the heat is a lot more tolerable than you would think it could be. You go into the shade, it's a lot cooler. But if you live in places like Florida or Texas, the humidity follows you everywhere. There's no escaping it. So I find that the dry heat is a lot more bearable. Even though we do have those hot temperatures, we actually do get rain. I know, it's a surprise to many people. From June 15th through September 30th, it is called monsoon season here in Arizona. So basically that means that we have these big rainstorms that will come in and go out. It's actually pretty great because we have a lot of thunder and lightning, and it really lights up the sky and it's quite beautiful. I grew up in Houston, and I love the thunderstorms about that. I've also lived in Western Washington, and we didn't have any thunderstorms. It just was rain, so it was kind of boring. We do have rain, and when it happens, everyone is so excited. The kids will actually go outside and play in the rivers, in the street, and in the puddles, so everyone's always happy to see the rain. The next thing you need to know is that there are bugs. I grew up in Houston, Texas, so I don't think that the bugs are anything compared to that, but I know for many people it is a concern. We do have scorpions and spiders, so they are quite serious. You don't want them roaming around your house. But there are things called pest control companies. They will come out every so often regularly to spray your house around the outside and the inside and make sure that those critters aren't getting inside, so I haven't had any problems. If you need to get around in the Phoenix area or commuting, I find that the freeway systems are actually really good. They're very planned out. We have the 101 loop and the 202 loop. They are very wide, they're made well, they keep them up, they're well lit. And so for me, driving on the freeways here is not nearly as stressful as Portland, Oregon or Houston, Texas. So if you need to get around the city, I think that you're gonna find the freeway systems to actually be a pleasant surprise. And if you have an electric vehicle, you can actually drive in the HOV lane during the morning and evening commute, even if there's just one person in your car. So that is a great benefit. Number 5, from October to May, we have snowbirds that arrive in the city. These are people who are coming here from northern states just for our winter and their winter. They are escaping the cold and snowy places where they live for the beautiful sunshine and the mild temperatures. So when that happens, our city does get more full, the roads will get more busy, the grocery stores will get more full, and everyone needs to have a little more patience for each other as everyone is trying to get around. I mean, to be honest, I don't blame them for being snowbirds. If I could, I would live somewhere else during the summer too and just come here for the winter. I mean, maybe I would go ahead and live back in Washington for the summer months when it's beautiful and be here when it's rainy. But maybe one day I can be a snowbird too. Number 6, I don't want you to be surprised moving to Arizona when you look at the houses. I've lived so many other places that have really cute houses, just really cute, like Washington. I've lived in Connecticut, even Houston with brick homes. When you come to Arizona, you might be a little disappointed because it's very beige and stucco. So the neighborhoods can look really monotonous. Every home kind of looks the same. I find that new neighborhoods are really trying to add variety and change it up, but I do want you to be prepared coming to Arizona that You might have a neighborhood that is just a little boring, and that's something that is sometimes hard to get used to. Another thing dealing with homes is that Arizona has small lot sizes. You might be surprised coming here because we have all this desert around, but you're actually not going to have a very big backyard normally. In master plan communities and subdivisions, the lot sizes are very uniform, all pretty much the same size. You're gonna be lucky to have a pool in your backyard. But if you are looking for a home with a bigger lot, like a half acre, an acre, that can be found. It's just going to take a little more searching, and it's going to have a higher price tag on it. In Arizona, when you are ready to send your kids to school, you will have a school of choice. You can go to the neighborhood school that you are assigned to, or you could go to a charter school or a private school, or even another public school if your child has the grades and the behavior, and if they have enough room. But if you do go to a school outside your boundary, most likely you will be driving them, so just be prepared with that. Number 9, if you move here and you are missing the seasons like my husband is, don't be worried. You can actually drive just a couple hours to the mountains. We have Payson and Sholo up on the Mongolian Rim, and there is snow there all during the winter. You can also drive to Flagstaff, where you can actually go skiing. So if you are like my husband and you miss the seasons and the snow, don't worry, Arizona does have that for you. And last, number 10, this is something that not many people know unless you actually live in Arizona, but there is a natural phenomenon called haboobs that happens during the year. So haboobs are giant dust storms that will blow into the city and then blow out. And they are so thick and big that you actually cannot drive in them. You need to pull over and just wait for the storm to pass before you can drive again. So haboobs is something that most people don't know about unless you live in Arizona. I hope these things really helped you to know better what Arizona is like before you choose to move here.